Hey everybody, we're back with episode number 6. Episodes. I always feel weird when we say episodes. This is a review of week 3 of our homeschool journey. So again, reminder, the channel name is called Learning by Faith. And this is just us documenting our journey from public school to homeschool in Utah. So I'm Stu.
I'm Lindsay.
And we are the Campbells, and we're trying to share with everybody this journey. Again, another plug to just like and subscribe if you want to be notified and want to follow the journey with us. So, Lindsay, it was week 3. How did it go?
3. I can't believe we were already on week 3. It was good. You went out of town. He was out of town. I was by myself for 3 full days.
3 full days.
And when you only do school 4 days a week, it was a majority.
That was a big deal.
Yes. So
I didn't help at all this week.
Nope. So Monday he was here, but working at work. We did school normal at home. Tuesday we actually did school at the park. I was like, let's get out of the house. We went to the park for 2 hours in the morning, and the kids did school. That went okay. It was a little bit tricky, but they did a lot of playing and it worked out fine. It was nice to be out in the sunshine.
It was a little weird for you though, because that was the first time really like you went to the park and chose not to do the work. And so I know from what you had mentioned to me that evening, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so we felt like we were off our schedule again, which again,
yeah.
We're
one schedule.
Yeah, the schedule is a non-existent schedule.
Yeah.
So.
And then Wednesday, I just felt like I had been harping on the kids a lot to get their lessons done. And so Wednesday, I was like, you know what? I'm a little stressed. We have a lot of things to do. Thursday was a kid's birthday, and I had some things we had to do at the grocery store and other errands for that. And so we just had kind of a connection day. We did our read aloud in the morning and then went grocery shopping, and I think we played a game in the afternoon. We also had a park meetup that day, not with our co-op, a different group. And it was good. And then, we met up with our co-op group too on Thursday, and that was super fun. And Friday we went to the zoo.
Yeah, so they went to the zoo. Since I work in Salt Lake area, so I was up at work for until I think it was like 1 o'clock or 1:30, and then I went up and met them and went for an hour or two, however long it was.
And I had really good intentions of telling the kids. I told them in the car on the way up, I said, pick an animal. I want you to draw a picture. And the older kids, I said, I want you to write like 3 fine facts about the animal. And our oldest, bless her heart, she tried to do it. We're at the sea lions and she's kind of writing stuff down. No one else did it.
And
I was like,
it was a worthy attempt to try and get the kids to write about something and focus on
draw a picture. No.
But I will say, like, from the couple hours that I was there with you guys, like, it was pretty cool to go to the zoo. And it for me, it felt a little like there was a lack of energy at the zoo, because I'm used to going to the zoo where there's a zoo of people, like people everywhere in every corner of the zoo. Yeah. And that was not the case when we were there.
Empty, and it was awesome.
Like, we noticed that it was
a perfect weather day.
Yeah, we noticed around like 3 o'clock, because that's about when we left. There were way more people there. There were way more families and kids there.
Kids started going. Yeah, they even made a
homeschool joke.
A public school joke.
Or public school joke, yeah.
In the dog show.
Yeah, in the dog show. He said something about
joking that public school kids couldn't do math or something.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Converting hours today. I was like, oh, that's, I guess, funny because we homeschool now, but
they're certainly used to having homeschoolers come during the day, especially when school starts. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So something that's something we're noticing, and it's something we definitely have to talk about here, as she has been going to co-op groups and different other meetups with other homeschooling families. we are noticing that
There are not a whole lot of
junior
Kids-
high and high school
kids older than about 6th grade that homeschool.
Friends, where are the junior high and high
Where
school
do we
kids
find
that are
them?
homeschooling?
Where
Where are
these
they?
preteens and teenagers?
Where are they? We're struggling. We can find plenty of families who want to homeschool
Younger grade.
younger kids, elementary school age. And I know the reasons why, because the curriculum does get harder and can be more challenging for those junior high and high school grades. And I don't want to shrink from that, but we are just scratching our heads and just saying, where are these kids? And we would like to find them, and we want to find more. We want to help more Utah families who might have even junior high and high school kids
Connect and
get together and
Yeah.
do that. Anyway, so that's just I would mark
one of
that
our
in
concerns.
the concerns
Yeah.
column.
Yeah.
We're definitely still concerned on that. Given the small number of people who homeschool in the state of Utah, and then what percentage of those are actually junior high and older, it's probably an even smaller number. So I definitely feel like
it's definitely more to take on.
yeah, more to take on, and it's hard to find other people that age. So
Yeah.
more to come on that.
Yeah.
So the next topic we want to talk about is certainly something that we have had people say to us on more than one occasion. And I hope that we can articulate this as best as we can, because we've been thinking about it for several weeks now and have been having long discussions, even longer than we've talked about it. But then once people started asking us and mentioning this to us, it's had us questioning. So,
And it's this.
yeah, go ahead.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
It's shouldn't your kids, we're members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, shouldn't they be out there in the world, in public school, influencing other kids for good, and not just hunkering down at home? Like, shouldn't they be out there being missionaries?
And I go back and forth on this one. So I'll maybe start here. I go back and forth on this one because I am a missionary. I love missionary work. I feel like missionary work is just a part of who I am. I'm a musical missionary right now, and I do believe that as members of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, we are to our charge is, and Jesus said it in the New Testament, that we are to go out into the world and to share the gospel and to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that is certainly a responsibility of all of his disciples. And so I kind of go back and forth, if we're homeschoolers and the kids are at home, that is a reduced influence of Christ's disciples in the public school system.
But it's not like we're just at home all the time. We're out of the house several times in the week. We go to the store and we go meet up with other kids and other people. We see other people at the library. They're interacting with other people. They're on sports teams and other activities, friends in the neighborhood, youth programs in our ward. And, we're hoping to get them involved in more things too. And they can still be a force for good in that regard.
Yeah, but kind of something that we've thought a lot about is that it's not the job of kids to be the salt of the earth or to be that light on the hill, like it says in the New Testament. Although I believe they can learn to do that in small incremental, they'll have opportunities to do that and learn how to do that. So they can be trained at home and in the temple with their parents, just like Jesus Christ did.
But right now, they're kids, and their job is to learn.
Be a kid.
And be a kid, play and learn and gain a testimony.
Yeah. Some of the scriptures that we have thought about and contemplated on this topic is Matthew 19, verse 14. But Jesus said, "Suffer little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." So I'm going to restate that the opposite way. Pretty much Jesus is saying, let the little children come unto me and learn of me.
Yeah.
He didn't ask them to go out into the world and to be that salt of the earth, or the light on the hill.
Yeah.
I do think kids can do that, and there's countless examples of kids who were and are good examples, and I don't think that will stop. But to put that burden on, as members of the church, on the children of the church, the primary of the church, and expect them to carry the work in the missionary work on their shoulders at such a young age, I just don't think that is possible.
Yeah. And yeah, Proverbs 22:6, I'll say this one. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. This is their time to be learning and, like we said, developing testimonies. And even Jesus started his official ministry as an adult, and he was calling adult disciples to come follow him, right? And to go out and be missionaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was blessing the children and teaching them and loving them, right? He wasn't calling them out to be missionaries.
Yeah, that's a really good example. So again, I believe kids can be good examples, and they can learn and have those experiences of, oh, I was a good example and look what happened. And then other experiences where they could have, but they didn't. And they're learning from those experiences while they're young. And a lot of what we are trying to accomplish with publics or doing homeschool is that we are trying to provide our kids with what we and other websites call reasoned social interactions, meaning they're learning how to have interactions with people. And we've said it in a prior video that when you put a classroom full of kids who are roughly the same age and roughly the same maturity level, the problem exacerbates because they're all picking up
bad habits.
Yeah. they're learning all these bad habits that you as a parent wouldn't want your kid to learn. And then they start doing them in their life and coming home and bring them home and all that stuff. And so while their brains are developing while they're kids, and what I believe for them to be a force for good throughout the rest of their lives, we need to try to protect them and teach them and train them upright while they are children, so that when they are an adult, they won't depart from it. Yeah. And they will be an effective missionary and an effective adult member of the church.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of where I think we're coming from.
Yeah. And so do we think it's selfish to homeschool your kids and not letting them be missionaries? No, you don't think it is.
No, not at all. And she hates when I talk about the British royal family, but I love following the British royal family. But Princess Catherine or Princess Kate, she talks a lot of one of her initiatives that she does for charity. She talks a lot about the first 5 years of a child's life, and that in that early childhood development, that people who are adults that have had had a lot of issues in their childhood, but when they have issues when they're adult, it's usually linked back to something that happened to them or how they were raised within the first 5 to 7 years of their life. And so once I think I learned that several years ago, and it was thanks to the royal family that brought that awareness to me, it just underscored for me the importance of early childhood development, and that if we can just protect them while they're younger, we really can set the next generation up for success. And that requires a lot of time and attention and effort on parents in Zion. So this is, for us anyways, this is our attempt at trying to give our kids a better shot even than what we got and how we were raised. which was fantastic. But we want to try and do better for the next generation. So
Yeah.
anyway, so hopefully that addresses that topic there. We've had so many people ask us about it, and so we don't think it's selfish. We think
We
it's
don't.
doing what we're supposed to do as parents. So
thanks for joining us today.
thanks for joining us on this journey of learning homeschool by faith, and we'll catch you in our next video.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.